And Reagan signed it. His signing statement matters, not just for what it says about the Civil Liberties Act, but what it says without meaning to about every conversation that came before and after it. He said, quote, "Yes, the nation was then at war, struggling for its survival, and it's not for us today to pass judgment upon those who may have made mistakes while engaging in that great struggle. Yet we must recognize that the internment of Japanese Americans was just that, a mistake. For throughout the war, Japanese American soldiers were fighting. Japanese American soldiers were fighting in the 442nd Regimental Combat Team, one of the most decorated units in the entire history of the American military." I pause because that entire quote is difficult to get through. Because I want you to sit with that for a second, because I do not want any of this lost on anybody listening. Every element of that statement, every single one, applies to Black Americans with equal or greater force. And Ronald Reagan fucking knew it, and he never signed anything for them. The nation was at war and people make mistakes? The fuck? Black soldiers fought in every American war from the Revolution forward under a flag that was actively working against them at home while they were deployed. The Buffalo Soldiers, the Tuskegee Airmen, the 92nd Infantry Division in World War II, the Buffalo Division, fighting in Italy while their families were being redlined out of the GI Bill that the war was supposedly being fought to protect. If wartime military service is the moral argument for repair, then Black veterans made that argument in every fucking conflict for over 250 years. The 442nd was one of the most decorated units in American military history. Are you fucking serious? The 442nd had about 14,000 men over its service. The 92nd Infantry Division alone had 15,000 men. There were over 1 million Black Americans who served in World War II. Over 1 million. Under a military that was still formally segregated. Coming home to a country that was administering their GI Bill through the same institutions that had redlined their neighborhoods. So Reagan's logic was, you served, you were wronged, here's acknowledgement and repair. And he applied that logic to one group and not the other. Now, I'm not saying that to take anything away from the Japanese American internment survivors or from the Civil Liberties Act. That repair was real and it was right, but it took 43 years of organized advocacy to get there. What I'm saying is that Ronald Reagan himself articulated the standard and then drew a line around who it applied to. That line is the behavioral data. That line, that's the receipt.